Hello, 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 good people. Welcome. Welcome to the first before play is what I like to call it, man. The preview. Steelers versus the Jets preview. Like I said, I like to call it the before play. I will not be before you too long. Let me just make sure that it is running properly. Looks like it is. Steelers versus Jets. And let's get to it, guys. This is going to be quick. For anybody who might see this, might be new to the channel. This is just something I try to do before the games. This one is very important to me because I told you guys on Tuesday, for some of you that may have been here live for the Terrible Towel Tuesday, that, I will not be watching the game live. I have an errand to run, a huge one. I have to go to New York. I have to go visit some family. And unfortunately, of course, it is on week 1, as you would have it, right? But anyway, I'll be able to watch the game once it's over, man, via Game Pass. I'll watch the entire game, the condensed version, and then probably tomorrow night sometime, hopefully, depending on what time I get home, I plan to still do a post-game reflection. And of course, we'll be back on Tuesday. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it really quick, man, really quick. Let's take a look at the injury report. Man, and see what is important. As you can see here, let me pull it up on my side as well. You guys are probably seeing it on your side. The Pittsburgh Steelers, game status. Skylar Thompson is questionable. Nick Herbig is questionable, as well as Derek Harmon. He's out with the knee. We all know that. But I always try to take a look at some of the other people who may have popped up on the injury report, just in case something might happen down the road, closer to the game. Not going to really pay too much attention to Cam Hayward, resting. It's a veteran day, but also that is important. Let's keep our eyes and ears open to Cam Hayward because, Cam Hayward was very vocal about, his contract not being extended. So you would assume he's going to be there, but something to keep an eye on. But no one else really to take a look at. The Steelers will go into this game relatively healthy. Now, if we take a look at the Jets, they are without their guard, Elijah Vera Tucker. He is out. Look at this. A guy that we know very well, offensive lineman Chukwuma Okorafor. He is out with the hand. Well, he's questionable with the hand. But then also number 67, offensive tackle Esau Poe is out with the ankle. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe some of you all that might be in the chat or might see this after the live, leave it in the comments. I don't know. Is Esau Poe a starter for them? I mean, obviously, Elijah Vera Tucker is, but I don't know about the other guy. If so, that would be 2 guys, very important to their cause that would be out, which would be in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But also, pay attention to these. Sauce Gardner. He was a full, but has a little situation with the fibula. Tyrod Taylor, not really worrying too much about him. But, nobody else here to really pay attention to other than Sauce Gardner. All right, so, again, the reason why I like to take a look at the guys who may or may not have shown as far as game time being out, I pay attention to how they practice through the week. So again, Sauce Gardner was not on the report as being out, but he's dealing with something. So maybe, could be a little hampered or could be re-aggravated or what have you. So keep an eye on that. Outside of that, guys, man, this is a real quick one for me. For one, it's week 1, right? You cannot judge what happened in last year's game. You just can't. The reason why is the coordinators are different, and it's a different mindset, you would think, of the New York Jets. Different quarterback, different head coach, and if I'm not mistaken, different offensive coordinator. So you can't really draw off of what may or may not have happened last year. We don't have any tape on the New York Jets for 2025. I'm not going to go off of anything that we see or may have thought we saw in preseason because it's preseason. But one thing that I can say for sure, My preview and the key of victory for the Steelers would be you must stop the run game of the New York Jets. We are familiar with Braylon Allen. We are very familiar with Breece Hall and Justin Fields. We are familiar with Justin Fields, him playing with the Steelers. We saw what he was able to do in a 4-2 record for the Steelers. He used his legs quite a bit in those games that he played for the Steelers. Some of those games, his legs were the reason why it propelled us to victory, whether it was a score or a much-needed first down. So you have to account for that. You have to account for the quarterback that is not only just mobile, but is a physical runner, if you will. You know, people forget how big Justin Fields is. He's not a little guy, right? He's not a little puny, small guy. He's a bigger guy that can run the football, that is very fast. And like I said, is a physical style type of player. So that is three guys that you have to pay attention to. So this is going to be a unique challenge for the Steelers defense, man. Again, I have said it for the last couple years, but let's just talk about last year. I think we were a decent defense. We made some stops here and there, but I continue to say each and every week the Steelers gave up a lot of explosive plays against the run. And when I say explosive, 10 yards or more, 15 yards or more. We gave up too many of those plays in key moments or key drives or key situations. So, yeah, I don't know where the Steelers ranked against the run the entire season, but we all could think back a season ago and remember the games where even if the team didn't rush ridiculous, right? Even if they didn't have gaudy numbers at the end of the game, there were spots in the game where we just gave up chunks. We cannot afford to do that. Definitely not against a team like this. I mean, the last time we saw us get ran on was, against the Ravens. And yeah, that's a different beast. But again, it lends to your concern that you might have with the Steelers run defense, right? I would love to have had Derek Harmon because Derek Harmon seems like he's going to be very effective for the Steelers. I'm looking forward to seeing Y.A. Black and what he will be able to do, because I think he's going to be getting a lot of playing time in rotation, especially if we're trying to, plug gaps and stop the run. But yeah, we got to do that first, guys. That is my key to victory for the Steelers for tomorrow. I think if we can force Justin Fields into having to pass, is he capable? Sure. Again, he played for us, guys. We've seen it. But he's not as deadly. He's not as scary. He's not as effective as having to drop back and pass. But when he does drop back and pass, also you got to add that to the run game. We have to be very disciplined in our rush lanes and not allow Justin Fields to escape and, pick up big plays with his feet. Thinking about the Steelers' newly put together secondary as far as the cornerback position, it makes me think of this too. I know that the idea is to be able to play a little more man with guys like Ramsey and Big Play Slay and Joy Porter. But again, when you go man in certain situations and you turn your back to the quarterback, these are the moments where the quarterback can rush. So we got to be very disciplined with that. So like I said, man, that is really my biggest key to victory for the Steelers if they're going to win this game. They have to keep a lid on the run game, whether that's Allen, Hall, or Fields. If they could do that, I think the Steelers' offense will be able to do enough. I do wish I would have been able to see Aaron Rodgers in a real game situation, regardless of whether it was preseason or not. I'm not so concerned with his ability, but I just want to see how well the machine is working, right? And we have not seen that. We've only heard reports from practice. We, as Steelers fans, have not seen an offense led by Aaron Rodgers. So I wish we would have seen that. So it's hard for me to say what's going to happen offensively, but I would say I think Aaron Rodgers' veteran, his veteran capability and just leaning on his veteranship, if you will, if that's a word, I think we could get some things done offensively. You know, he has targets to throw to, and I think we'll be able to run the football. But let's not forget, the Jets have a pretty solid defense as well, man. They're stout on the front line. You know, they have some secondary pieces, guys like Sauce Gardner, that's, you know, definitely going to be locked up against DK Metcalf. So we'll see. We'll see. But like I said, guys, I feel like that we should be able to do enough to win the ball game, even offensively, if I'm going to say it again, if we are able to stop the run. If the Jets get comfortable and they're able to run the ball against the Steelers and kind of bleed the clock, control the line of scrimmage, control time of possession, it gets hairy. But that's about all I got, guys. Like I said, man, I hate the fact that I have to have somewhere to go tomorrow. But again, you know, and when it's family and it's elder family, you know, you have to take care, you know, your business first, life before anything else, right? But again, I will be able to watch the game once it's over. You know, I'll watch the condensed version. Usually they chop them down to about 40 minutes or so. So I'll be able to see every single play of the game. And like I said, depending on what time I get home from New York, I will probably come on and do some type of, you know, post-game reflection. That is my plan as of right now. But yeah, the offensive line, I see what Mark is saying. Yeah, I asked earlier, Mark, I don't know if you were here. I don't know if you know or not. I put up, and I'll show you guys again, this kid right here. Let me scroll up. Hold on. Well, there it is. Is Esau Pohl, is he a starter? I mean, obviously, Elijah Vera Tucker is. I don't know if Chooks is. But is that Esau Pohl guy, is he a starter as well? So if he is, I mean, that would be at least two starting guys on their offensive line, and you would think that would give the Steelers the advantage from a pass rush standpoint. So I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing, you know, I know Herbig is questionable, but let's say Herbig can't go. I look forward to seeing what Jack Sawyer might be able to do in his, you know, first action as a pass rusher potentially. Okay, Steeler Card says, hey, he isn't a starter. Jets' two tackles are Fashanu and Mimbo. Okay, so it looks like only one guy, their guard is the one who's out. So I'm assuming, I mean, unless you guys are telling me one of the starting tackles is out too. I didn't see him on the report, but I don't know. Maybe they got injured before. I don't know. My bad. I didn't do my research on that, but to my knowledge, just looking at the injury report, it looks like Vera Tucker would be out, but I don't know if, like I said, it might be other guys who were out that were already out before even, you know, obvious outs. But you guys can let me know that as well. Okay, and you're saying both of those guys are young tackles, were top 10 picks in the past draft. Okay, well, that works for us as well. I mean, again, young guys like that having to face off against TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, I like my chances there. So we'll see. But again, that would be even more reason why it's imperative for the Steelers to stop the run, make them have to drop back a pass, make it a game where the Steelers pass rushers can go hunt and the secondary can go hunt and play free. If you do that, I think a week one Jets, even though it's a week one Steelers, if the week one Steelers can stop the Jets from being sustainable runners, then I think we have a chance to win this ball game, and I'm not too worried about that. But that's all I got, guys. Where we at? About 15 minutes? Yeah, I told you it would be short and sweet, man. I'm going to try to do more of these pregame shows as live streams going forward. I'm going to try. I already, like I told you guys Tuesday, I have a busy September already. There's at least 2 games, including tomorrow, that I won't even see in real time. Not happy about that, but hopefully my Saturdays can kind of still remain free where I could jump in really quick and do a quick stream and kind of discuss my you know, my preview or, you know, what I think the Steelers would need to do to get a victory in that week's game. But that's it, guys. That's all I got. Again, hey, if you enjoyed what you saw here, it's right there, man. Very simple. Hit the like button. subscribe to the channel, as well as turn on your notifications. Outside of that, like I said, guys, tomorrow it won't be immediately following the game, but hopefully at some point tomorrow night after I have returned home from New York, I'll jump on hopefully and try to do some type of post-game recap, you know, just to chop it up and discuss it with you guys. You know, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I do want to see the Bills and Ravens. I got Lamar in my fantasy. But I want to see that game anyway, just to see how those, you know, top-tier teams in the AFC are looking, especially after watching what the Chargers were able to do last night against the Chiefs. So I want to look at some of these other AFC teams early on. But hopefully we'll find a spot where I could at least jump on for a quick second, man, and be happy by what we saw, or be semi-upset by the loss. But hopefully it's not a situation where we are pissed because we look like absolute trash. I hope it's not that scenario. But other than that, man, y'all know the routine, man. Y'all stay safe out there, stay healthy. God bless. Good day, since it's still daytime. Like always, I appreciate everybody who tuned in and all who will see this post the live. I thank you. And I shall catch you guys in the next one. Peace.